What's going on, guys? King here, back with another video for the channel. If you notice the apron, it's because YouTube doesn't really take nicely to shirtless guys, so I have to do something about it. Also, pardon my voice, I've got a little bit of a cold going on. The weather's crazy right now in New Jersey, but on to the video. What we're gonna do today is one of my favorite recipes I use probably 3 to 4 times a week. You've seen it if you're coming from Instagram. It is my health rice and my chicken that I make in the air fryer. Today you'll get to see why it's called health rice. It's really nothing spectacular. It is very simple and easy to make. It doesn't take a lot of ingredients or time, which is something I am big on. So without further ado, let's get to it. So what I've got here is 300 grams of just regular extra long grain white rice. It's my favorite kind of rice. I'm gonna drop it into here because we're going to rinse it off. Just eyeballing inside, you see it running slightly not clear. I'm just gonna keep doing this over and over again until it runs clear. See that it is clear. Perfect. Let's load that into the rice cooker and off we go. All right, so what you see there is the rice in the cooker. Obviously, I added water. If you're not sure on how much water you're supposed to add, it's about a 2-to-1 ratio for rice. It's usually on the instructions. This is how I use mine. You can use a lot of different ways to make yellow rice. You can buy yellow rice, but this to me is one of the best tasting ones, and I have had a lot. It doesn't need a ton on here, so all I'm gonna do is drop some of this in here. So next, we're just gonna stir that bad boy up. You can see it already starting to change color. And it'll be a nice thing of yellow when we put that back in here. By the way, don't make fun of my rice cooker. I've had it for like 5 years, and I'm very sentimental. I don't like to get rid of things, so this going to ride until it breaks. That's just how we roll, right? Leave me alone. Once this portion is over, you can go wherever you want to with the rice. You'll see as what I'm going to add every single time is different if you look on my Instagram. This time is a complete freestyle again, but I've got some frozen peppers and onions that I just have to get rid of. There's a little bit left in the bag, so what I'm gonna do is I am just going to crush them in here. Don't worry, they will cook during the process. They're already cooked, so I'm just gonna add that in there for a little more flavor. Then I'm gonna turn the rice steamer on, and away we go. Now, I don't know what kind of rice steamer you guys use, but the white rice setting works the best for me. I don't like brown rice. I never used that once. You'll see this is just gonna start until it steams, and then it's gonna come a 12 up, and then you're done. That's it. You can just leave it alone. Now we're gonna get started on the chicken. All right, so what we have here is 24 ounces of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Most of the fat is trimmed off. I do leave some on there. Is when you're air frying it, it allows for the chicken to be more crispy and more juicy. But if you're a person who's health conscious, such as myself, don't worry. 90% of the fat actually melts off, and you'll see it at the bottom of the drip tray, which I will show you later. But let's get on to seasoning it. I'm gonna make this very simple because I wanna do something that you can just recreate at home without any effort whatsoever. So here we go. I have here is some jerk seasoning. Now, I've tried a million different kinds of jerk seasoning. Let me put that down so I can get to it. You're gonna use about a tablespoon per 1 pound. Now, I have 1.5 pounds here, but I also really like jerk seasoning, so I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons. Add that into the bag, and then I like using the bag because I can shake the bag up and let the seasoning marinate in there. Preferably speaking, you would wanna do this in the morning and then come home and cook it at night so that it's marinated. But for the sake of the video, I'm freestyling, and we're just gonna do it last minute. This hot mess, I added the seasoning to it, and all I'm gonna do is easier with 2 hands, but for the sake of the video, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna move this around until it's equally covered. Make sure that the air is out of this before you put it in the fridge. You don't want air in your marinades. Make sure you get all of the air out of this bag. Real simple, you just slightly do it open like this, push the air out, and then there you go. Back in the fridge we go. So let me just get this on here, and then we'll take it to the next step of loading it into the air fryer. That is all you have to do. By the way, if you're new here, I talk fast. I'm sorry. Let's make some chicken. All right, so we got this loaded up. You can see most of the air is out. Like I said, preferably 24 hours, or do it in the morning before you go to work. When you come home, you got this bad boy. But this is as is. It'll still taste good if you do it this way, don't get me wrong, but it definitely enhances the flavor a little bit more if you want to really knock it out of the park, if you let it sit overnight, or if you let it sit, you know, at least a couple of hours. But this is as is. It is what it is. Now what I'm gonna do, you can see in my sink over here, I've got my air fryer tray already. I'm gonna load these onto here, and then we'll load it into the air fryer. All right, so you can see the chicken is all loaded up. There are a few pieces on the bottom. If you're like me and you're making a large quantity, all you're gonna wanna do is about halfway through, just switch them. So you're gonna take the ones from the top, place them on the bottom, and vice versa. That simple, but it's all loaded up. So what you do from here, pop that lid on. Okay, let me get into with the air fryer. As you can see, I don't like throwing stuff out. I've had this air fryer for a few years now, and I'm not throwing it away. I don't care if the stuff is off here. I know what it says, so it doesn't matter to me. It's for 350, so I'm gonna set it to about 375. And you can see right here, a little bit of the chicken left there. It says chicken 375, and what that says is 35 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna eyeball this. You can't see because of the bad lighting, but I keep an eye on it, and then I just flip as necessary. For the sake of the video, like I said, 35 minutes, and then you'll be done and ready to go. In the meantime, I'm gonna prepare the rest of my stuff so that I can put it into my rice at the end when it cooks. and then we'll be ready to go. Simple, simple. We out. All right, so we're under the 5-minute mark, 4 minutes left on here. All I'm gonna do is I got this steam in a bag cauliflower rice, unflavored, unseasoned. If you wanna get your own cauliflower, make your own cauliflower, go ahead. If you wanna flex, knock yourself out. But I like to do things that are convenient. This takes 4 minutes and it tastes exactly the same. So all I'm gonna do while this is cooking, yes, while this is cooking, be careful too because it's steaming. I'm gonna open this up. You can see the rice is almost done. And I'm just gonna pour this in, okay? I'm gonna pour this in, I'm gonna stir it up, and then I'm gonna let it finish. I find that the cauliflower doesn't really have a bad texture as you would if you just put it in there at the end. So I like to do this and then let it cook, but I need to close this before the rice can finish cooking. So I'm gonna stir that up, cook that, you'll see the end product, real simple. All right, this is why I'm the absolute worst at writing recipes. There's a little change in plan. They cooked very well. As you can see, it's got the nice bark going on, and I switched it and I flipped it, but what I'm gonna do, because I like to get a little more of that bark on there, that's just what I like. This is optional, but for another about 5 to 10 minutes, I'm gonna put the lid back on. I'm gonna turn this up to about 450, almost to act like a broiler, and then I'm gonna turn this back on for about 10 minutes. It's gonna give it that nice bark that I just, it's juicy. Look, I'm starting to drool, okay? I wish you had smell-o-vision, but you don't have smell-o-vision, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. But this right here, it smells so good. I wish you could all come get you a bite. If I could, I would. But that's gonna be 10 minutes. The rice is pretty much done. I'm gonna add some veggies to it, and that'll be my dinner for the night. Simple, simple. What the hell does simple mean anyway? Whatever. All right, that is the end of the rice. The rice is done. It is all seasoned up, and I fluffed it a little bit just to make sure that everything was equally distributed, so you can see that on my messy ass rice cooker. All right, that is the end of the rice. The rice is done. It is all seasoned up, and I fluffed it a little bit just to make sure that everything was equally distributed, so you can see that on my messy rice cooker. You can see that bark that I was talking about before. Now, once you bite into these, the juice, that rest of it is gonna come flying out. But you can just see how that falls apart right there? That's what we're looking for. Like, don't ever think these are dry. Sometimes on my Instagram comments, somebody will say, oh, these are dry, but you can see I just picked it up and it's falling apart. That's hot as hell. Man, show you the bottom of this. You can see all the fat that cooked out. That could have been inside your body, but instead there it is dripped out of here. This isn't really hard to clean. You just pop this whole thing off and you run it through the sink. Obviously soap and water, a little elbow grease, and it's good to go again. All right, so let's plate this bad boy up. There we have it. We got some jerk chicken done in the air fryer. Done right. See that bark on there? Y'all don't even know. It's gonna be so good. That finished product of the health rice, little peppers and onions in there, cauliflower, like I said. This is also a banger. And lastly, this is the broccoli. I added some lime ponzu seasoning. I know it sounds crazy. Brown rice vinegar, salt, and pepper. That's on both. Yes. Oh, this is Crystal Light iced tea. Like iced tea. It's not lemonade. Actually, I think it is half lemonade. Doesn't matter though. It's iced tea. You watch my new show, Law and Order. All right, let's get that Chicken King. You know, somebody said there's like, yo, this chicken looks dry. Let me just open this bad boy up for you real quick. Look. Does that look dry to you? Look at the moist. Look, come on, man. You gotta trust your boy and get you a bite. Look at that. Juicy, juicy. The moment y'all been waiting for. Chicken King. Watch me, watch me. See that? Falls right apart. I wish I could try this. It's just, and it's the bark. See the bark I'm talking about? Right there? You have eyeballs, but. I'm telling you, blow your mind. So juicy, so tender, it's just tasty as all hell. Let's get a little bit of that health rice in there. The taste is just, you wouldn't believe I steamed it. And adding those peppers and onions, so that's my first time doing that. It gives it a different taste, which kind of, the best part about this is you can change the seasoning on each one and make this every day and you wouldn't even notice the difference. That's at least what I do, but really, really good. Okay, hold on, get a sprout. Broccoli, people don't think I like vegetables, but whatever. Got brown rice vinegar on there. Yeah, there you have it. It's my chicken, it's my health rice. The veggies, of course, are really, really simple. That looks good, I'm sorry. The veggies are really, really simple. This is something you can make. It only takes about a half hour, 45 minutes. Total, and most of that is just the actual cook time. So you're under an hour. If you prep it beforehand, it's real easy for people like me that have a job. You don't want to spend all hours in the kitchen. And most of this stuff, you don't have to really go crazy with the prep or anything like that. This was the whole thing, real simple. And like I said, this is my staple meal. I make this all the time. If you go on my Instagram page, you will see it post after post after post. I don't get tired of it. I absolutely love it. I'm starting to drool. So I'm gonna finish the rest of this. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, drop a thumbs up, the likes, the subscribes, all that stuff. Drop a comment down below of things you want to see. And we'll try to get more of this stuff out for you though. I love y'all, and we out.